Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mandy, the Handmade Homeschooler, and today I'm doing kind of a Generations Part 2, but today we're going to be going over the 10th grade package from Generations Homeschool Company. So we're going to take a look at everything that came in the package, and I'm going to just kind of explain each piece and what we plan on doing with all of these subjects and how I plan on implementing them over the next couple of years. If you are new to my channel or this is your first time here, I want to welcome you. Make sure that you hit the like and the subscribe button, and down below in the description box I have a link to our free Facebook group for homeschooling parents and aspiring homeschooling parents. It's my favorite place on the internet, and it is a very sweet, loving group of homeschool moms and dads who are more than willing to help you out with almost any question under the sun that you might have. So with my 6th grader, I did a video a couple of weeks ago where I showed you the history curriculum that we bought through Generations, and it is Christian history in Europe. Now, they have for each grade an actual package that you can get with a bunch of different subjects. So almost like it would be the spine of your homeschooling curriculum. I didn't need to do that with my 6th grader because we already had most of the pieces. I just needed history. Otherwise, I would have bought the whole package. And honestly, I was this close to doing it, but we were really trying to save money with everything going on with the economy and inflation, and I just could not justify buying that package when I didn't actually need it. However, my 10th grader did need all of those pieces, so we're gonna go through that package because I did buy the whole package. And one of the things I do wanna say before I start is the Generations homeschooling curriculum is one of the most affordable options, especially for what you get. You get so much quality, and the price is one of the best out there. You can't beat it. So I was extremely impressed by the prices, and that's initially what drew me. But then once I really looked into the books, I was sold hook, line, and sinker. It was just probably some of the best textbooks I have ever had the privilege of looking through, and I am more than willing to pay for these books. But the good thing is the price tag is one of the lowest you're gonna find. Okay, so this package has several different components to it. So let's go over each first. So the first thing that this comes with is Bible. And they get 2 books for this, and depending on if you have a boy or a girl, you will specify that when you purchase, and they will send you a devotional either for men or for women. So this book is Disciplines of a Godly Man by R. Kent Hughes. I've heard so much about this book. I have heard a lot of good things about it. I almost bought it as a standalone a couple of months ago, and then I realized that it came in this curriculum, and that was just one more reason for me to buy it. So luckily it came in there, and this one actually has a study guide in it too. So the first thing that they will be getting in the package for Bible is this book. So I'm not sure if there is a version of this for women or if they swap it out with a completely different book, but I'm assuming it's some kind of devotional that's probably pretty comparable to this if you have girls. So I am really happy to see this book in here. The next one is a family Bible study series. So this one is actually for everyone to do together, and that's how we will most likely use it, as something kind of like after dinner for everybody. Even though I have a 6th grader too, he can definitely sit in on these, and he can do it again when he's in 10th grade. So this one is on the book of Proverbs, God's book of wisdom, and this is book 2, so there must be probably one for grade 9 that we didn't have. So this one goes over Proverbs 16 through 23 in the entire series, and this one is by Kevin Swanson, who is, I'm not sure if he's the executive CEO of Generations, but I know that he is like the main guy over at Generations. So this one looks like it probably doesn't take that long, kind of like a daily thing, and I want to say that it's probably maybe 15-20 minutes tops, depending on how long you discuss everything when you're finished. So there's Bible, so it comes with that. And I'm not worried about any theological issues, just because I know that they are pretty reformed in their theology. So, and I have people at church who have used their books, and so far everything lines up, so I'm not worried about any doctrinal issues or anything like that. And that makes me happy, because the last time we bought a box set, I had books coming in from authors I would never let my kids read. So I'm glad to see some doctrinally sound things in Generations. Okay, so the next thing I want to go over is literature. So this comes with 2 books for literature. You're going to get a workbook and the textbook. Now the textbook, although it's not as tall as most textbooks, it is really thick. Now this one is the 3rd edition, and there is 4 works of the faith within this book. There's a couple in here that I'm actually really excited about. Obviously, The Pilgrim's Progress is one of our favorite stories. We've talked about it before on this channel, and it's actually my 10th grader's favorite book. So he's gonna be excited to revisit that again and go through this. So you have that from Bunyan. So we also have On the Incarnation, The Imitation of Christ, and John Calvin's Institutes of Christian Religion. I have yet to go through Calvin's book. It's been on my to read list for probably 3 or 4 years, but I got on a Sproul kick a couple years ago, and that was all she wrote. So I've read a lot of Sproul over the last couple of years, but I just have not picked up Calvin's book yet. So knowing that it's in here, I'm probably gonna read it over the summer before we start school, because I am that much of a nerd. But it's also something that I've been very interested in, and I can't wait to read it. So I'm glad that this one comes with Calvin's book inside of it. And so that's the textbook. Now you're also going to get the workbook. And this is what the workbook looks like. It has the same kind of cover. It's very close. It looks almost exactly like Master Books is what it reminds me of. I want to say that you can buy some of this on Master Books. I don't think they have like the whole package set or anything. I don't know. But I do believe Kevin Swanson does have some things over on masterbooks.com. Don't quote me on that. I'm not totally 100% sure, but that's what I've heard. So the workbook is very much like Master Books. If you've ever used Master Books before, it's very, very, very similar, if not exactly the same type of setup. And you don't need a teacher book, which is great, because the teacher things that you need are right here on the inside of the workbook. So the whole schedule and what you need to do is all laid out right here, and the answers are also in here. So you get not just the student workbook, but you get the answer book and you get the teacher book all in one, which is, I think, one of those things that they do to really save us money, because you don't have to buy those additional books. So it's not a bad thing. Okay, so the next one is God and Government. This is typically a 12th grade type of course, and I'm going to explain what we're going to do with this coming up here in just a minute. So this is their civics class for high school. So again, another short type of textbook, but pretty hefty at the same time. And this one is God and Government, a biblical, historical, and constitutional perspective. Another one that I am really happy to read, because I was a public school kid and I never got a Christian worldview of government. So I'm actually really happy to read this one. The textbook in here is pretty black and white, but that's okay, because once you guys see the history textbook, you're going to be happy. And it's the same thing with the 6th grade book. If you guys have gone over and looked at the other Generations video that I did, everybody was just like I was over the pictures and the photography, and there was just absolutely stunning. So this one over here is very similar. So I don't mind that this one is in black and white. So again, with the workbook, it's going to be very similar to this one. They're all kind of the same setup. You're going to have the teacher setup here in the beginning, you know, all the schedules and things like that. You're going to have the test, the quizzes, the answer book, worksheets, answers for that. All of it will be in here. So I'm going to go over what we're going to do with the civics and how I'm planning on using this. But I'm going to show you the history first. So the main meat of the history curriculum is this US history book. And this one is a very large book, you guys. Like, this is very heavy. This is probably the heaviest textbook we've ever had. It is a hardback, which is a good thing because it is so heavy, and it's very thick. This one is in color, and the pages are this just beautiful glossy finish. This is one book I can definitely say I don't think I'll sell it when my kids are done. I think we will probably keep it on the shelf. I love these textbooks from Generations. They are stunning with the photography and with the layouts, and I love how they really incorporate everything that you need. And one of the things that I really like about this textbook is this bottom blue bar here is this huge timeline that the kids can use. And I think that that's really important because it really helps them with their understanding of history. So this book is very large, very, very large. And just like with the other books here, you're going to get a workbook, and it's going to be the same setup. You're going to have the teacher pages in the beginning that tells you the schedule, all the assignments. You're going to have the worksheet pages. You're going to have the answers to that, the quizzes, the tests, and then the answers for those as well. All of it will be in here in this student workbook. Now, although it says grades 10 to 12, we're going to be using it for grade 10. Now, I need to kind of explain the plan here. I plan on using this for 2 years, and they have a 1-year plan and a 2-year plan. And the way that I plan on doing this, and it's not really just for saving money, but it is for my son's transcript so he can go to some of the state colleges, because the state colleges require US history for 10th grade. And if not, you have to like go through this thing on your transcript and explain why you don't have US history and things like that for grade 10. So I needed to make sure he had US history for grade 10. So that's a check in the box. So this one we're going to be doing for the next year. Now, my plan is for 12th grade to use God in the History of God and Government, because this is actually a civics class, and civics is typically in grade 12. So I don't plan on actually using the civics books for this year, and that's totally fine. I'm happy with that. I'm probably going to do the 2-year schedule for this book because I really don't want to rush it. Now, the 2-year schedule and the 1-year schedule are planned out for you in here. You just have to pick the one that you want to use. Because the 2-year schedule versus the 1-year schedule, you can imagine the 2-year schedule is going to be heavier, more work every day, that type of thing, and you're going to move at a faster pace. The 1-year schedule is going to be the complete opposite. You're going to go slower. There's probably going to be less work every day, and there's going to be more space in between things. So my plan is to do enrichment type of activities and assignments really to bulk this up. Although I don't really think it needs a whole lot of bulking. I'm definitely going to be adding in the literature assignments because I think that it's going to tie in well with his history. Our art is going to be US history related from Yellow Spot Sun, and that's going to kind of tie into that as well. And they have enrichment ideas and activities and projects inside of these books, and we'll probably pick up some of those. So I think there is going to be a way to really, I don't want to say make it meatier, but to kind of slow down, take our time, and explore whatever part of history we happen to be in at that time. And I don't think it's going to be too hard. So one other thing that I'm going to tie into it, and this is also going to go along with literature, is going to be the teaching the classics. And because I have that timeline of the classics book, I'm going to be able to easily pick out works that were written during the time that we're studying here and kind of meld these two subjects together. So I think it's going to be a great way to expand upon works of literature and history together. And that way, I think that we're going to be able to slow down, take our time, and really enjoy these books and not feel so rushed to get everything done. And I think that's the beauty of homeschool, right? Like we get to enjoy education, and I think that that's probably one of the biggest differences with homeschooling and public school. With public school, you learn to get through the test so you can graduate. With homeschool, you get to enjoy the learning process. And I really want my kids to learn to love learning. And one of the ways to do that is not by rushing through these things and making sure that they have all their checks in the boxes like public school. So I think this is going to be a really great way to do that. And seeing how much information is in these books, I mean, they're humongous. I don't have time to do a full proper flip through in this video because it's already running pretty long, but if you want a flip through of some of these books, let me know which ones down below in the comments, and I will make another video where I probably just dedicate it to that textbook and we'll flip through it. We'll look at some of the assignments, that type of thing, so you guys can get a good idea of what it looks like. Generations is, I think, a relatively newer curriculum company. Now, I know that they have like their own publication. I think they have like a podcast and a blog. I've read their devotionals. They're so good, which is why I knew that these Bible studies were good, because I've read their Bible studies on their website, and I think the ones on the website are very similar to the ones in the book. So I was very confident going into that. So we have everything that we need for our transcript. It's going to save me money because even though I bought this whole package, we're not even going to be using all of it, and I'll have this for next year. So we'll probably do another year of US history for 11th grade, and then and then for grade 12, we're going to use the civics, and this will probably be an elective course. So I plan on using this one as an elective, and then this ginormous guy here, he will be a full history credit. I'm guessing just looking at the size of this book and just from the flip through that I've done, that this could probably easily be an elective. So he can have civics for one half of the year, and then we might be able to do a different history for the other half. I have to look and see, because I know that I think he can take like an economics course. I think it's like civics and economics. So if this counts as his civics, then we can do economics the other half of the year. So probably up to Christmas we'll do this one, and then after Christmas we'll start the other one. They might actually have it on generations. I have to look. They might have like another half credit type of course that we can do. So that way his transcript will be all set to go, and he will have everything that he needs as far as the history requirements for graduation. So this one provided so much for me, and I really have to say how happy I am with this curriculum company. I'm probably going to stick with them for quite a while. So I am very pleased. History has been one of those subjects that's been really hard for our family to find, like that one that we just love. And I have such a great feeling about this one. I know we haven't used it yet, so I know I'm counting my chickens before they hatch here, but I have been extremely pleased so far with everything in the packages. I have been very pleased with the quality, with the price, with the content, with how biblically sound they are. Doctrinally, everything lines up. So pleased with everything that's coming here. So we are very blessed to have this curriculum and to have found this company. And I cannot wait to see what this year is going to bring with all of these brand new books. So we're happy and we're excited to start. All right, guys, I will see you in the next video. I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day, and happy homeschooling.